I think the reason events like this are so important is because the industry has changed quite significantly in the last 5 years, probably 10 years really in reality, but certainly in the last 5 years. And it used to be quite a straightforward industry in that there was a price for a product and you paid a price for that product. But what that product is changing every single day, and we don't always know the value of what that product is. It's hard to quantify. But actually we do know there's value to be had there, and we do know it's important that we are in those spaces. So the old model of just a simple pick up the phone and scream and shout and be very angry and try and negotiate the price can't work anymore, because half the time we don't always know the value of what we're negotiating for. So actually to spend some time talking about value and what different things could mean in different avenues and different opportunities is unbelievably important. So predominantly my clients are Heineken and EMI, so it's beer and music, and therefore I spend most of my days trying to work out how to target people who live the lives I once lived but now wish I still lived. So young kind of upmarket people who are kind of very tech savvy, and they're living in a world that is totally different from 10 or 15 years ago. So understanding the role that mobile plays in that role, and understanding how that has changed their relationship actually in some ways with popular culture and the way they deal with it and the way they engage with it is hugely important. And for us, one of the biggest challenges is trying to understand that not all impacts will ever be equal, and trying to understand the difference between someone viewing something on a mobile phone, someone viewing something on an iPad, someone viewing something on a TV, and the different types of content they read, they see, and that they hear. So for me, I think the biggest challenge we face is really understanding how you take the best understanding you can from those different platforms, and get the best value and the most interesting communications you can for your client. Yeah, it's on Heineken it's really easy because we're a beer client, so the amount of times we can literally have meetings genuinely over a beer, which funnily enough makes collaboration a far easier conversation to have. I think for us the big opportunity we have to realise is that we market a product which essentially is the kind of fabric to most people's social occasions. You know, most occasions that you have as an adult are better fueled by a beer of some type. Therefore, the idea of developing collaborations around that is fairly straightforward. We kind of need to understand how that works, how that fits together, and then talk to our partners about how we bring that to life, the content that they have that brings that to life, what that actually means, and the kind of value that plays back to our drinkers. Because at the end of the day, we are selling an incredibly social product. So our ability to kind of sit together and talk about how that works is absolutely paramount. The challenge we will have is if you don't properly speak to people about what you're doing, what you're facing as a brand, it's very easy in a marketplace which is oversubscribed and almost commoditized to end up with very, very similar looking briefs. But actually, if you look at it, the reasons that someone will drink a Foster's is quite different from the reason someone drinks a Bulmers. Now, I can't explain that to someone in an email. I can't actually explain that to someone in a brief. You actually almost need to go and sit and watch people drink and watch people why they drink, the reasons people drink, etc., etc. So it's very, very important to us that we spend as much time as we can talking. So a whole big part of Oktoberfest was to actually bring to life what it is to be a drinker of those brands, what it is that you're going through, and for media partners to spend half an hour in the life of an 18-year-old, of a 20-year-old who's drinking Bulmers, etc., etc. That's incredibly important because actually a lot of those decisions are made in a split second, and it's not as nuanced, it's a lot more nuanced than just saying it's an 34-year-old. So to bring that to life, we need to spend time explaining what that looks like. And that needs to be done face to face, that needs to be done in an environment when you can actually kind of create the experience and bring it to life.